one of the best classroom available, and then change that into a temporary operation theatre, shift all the lighting, all this. There is no microscope or anything. So it's all torchlight based surgeries. Every camp they used to do about 1,000 to 1,500 cases. So this was huge. If you compare the numbers now, so in any surgical camp they hardly get about 50 or 100 cases. We were the first entrance batch. So I had a good academic guidance from my teachers. I think in the entrance I was the 12th rank or something in the state. I wrote about 70 entrance exam in those 2 years. Post
70 exams, sir? That
70 entrance exams.
That time it was individual exams for
Yes.
institutes. Sir.
A point I would like to stress to the youngsters is take whatever exam possible.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so whether you get through it or get higher marks, that is immaterial. When I was the in charge head of the department, the almost 100% pass in ophthalmology.
Oh, okay.
For almost 3 years that consecutively. So
today in this video we are going to talk about the field of ophthalmology. For that I am going to interview Dr. Nirmal Fredrick. He is one of the senior and renowned ophthalmic surgeon from Tambaram, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Also he is the founder and MD of the Nirmal Eye Hospital, Tambaram, Chennai. He has number of phases. He is a great academician, he is a great teacher, and he is a researcher. He published number of papers in reputed journals. He also held number of prestigious positions in various ophthalmological associations, as also in Indian Medical Association. Currently he is holding one of the prestigious posts in Tamil Nadu Ophthalmological Association, and I think he also running an academy to help the hospitals to get NABH accreditation, and he has received number of awards from various organizations. So I think he is the right person to talk about the field of ophthalmology. He is going to share about his life experiences to the upcoming ophthalmologists, whether what are the things they have to think before choosing the field of ophthalmology. So they have to introspect in what aspects, and what are the pros and cons in the field of ophthalmology, what the field demands, etc. So let's go.
Sir, we are very glad to have you here in this platform. I'm very much thankful to you and for accepting my request to share your experience during your lifetime, and so that it will be very helpful for the upcoming ophthalmologist. So let's start with your life journey in your career path, sir.
thank you, Vinod. Thanks for the opportunity. It's indeed a pleasure to talk to you as well as to the viewers. I'm a first doctor in my family. I had a decent academic background. So how I got into medicine is we were the first entrance batch. So I had a good academic guidance from my teachers and a few other well-wishers of the family. I got a good score in the +2 exam and went on to have a coaching class for the entrance exam. It was a very, very short. The government announced hardly gave 15 days time between the +2 exams and the entrance exam. I think in the entrance I was the 12th rank or something in the state. So I applied for both medicine, engineering and architecture, and then I was about to join architecture. The medicine seats were announcement were delayed because of some court cases against the entrance exam. So I was about to join in BIAC, and on that day I got the medicine list announced. So I got a seat in Madras Medical College. So this was a real last minute turn in my career. So then I joined Madras Medical College for M.B.B.S. So then Madras Medical College at 5 years went on like started with ragging and then long travel. I had to travel from Tambaram, Mandalore to Madras Medical College. So that journey part as well as the entire 5 years was a real breezy experience, even though academics was tough initially. But Madras MMC teaching was really good. We had wonderful teachers and also who can guide us through the journey, because it was one of the top medical colleges and there was a set system for medical education. And the undergraduate teaching as well as the learning from the seniors was really good. So we had very close interaction with our seniors and as well as the juniors. So and of course the exposure to patients. So that is the biggest point with Madras Medical College. We had the topmost hospital, government general hospital, and the amount of clinical load they have is enormous, and the number of specialties. So we are exposed to various academic backgrounds among the teachers, seniors, since it was a very good postgraduate medical center. We had exposure to postgraduates also, and the exposure to clinical part and various institutes. So MMC is one hospital where there are institutes for specialties.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Like Regional Institute of Ophthalmology, then Institute of Obstetrics, Institute of Psychiatry, which is a well-known center, then Institute of Orthopedics. So it was all a big system and a wonderful background for having an undergraduate medical education. So education was quite interesting. We had a lot of exposure not only to the clinical part but also the academic part. And then I passed out in '89, and so during this again had few plus and minus in the academic part, scored few distinctions, few medals, and again came a dilemma whether to go for post-graduation or join the service. I did the residency there in Government General Hospital and got through and finished the CRRI in 1990. So that is the undergraduate career. And then as in any medico's life, the dilemma to choose work in private practice or to go for higher education, post-graduation, or go for service. So we had opportunity for service also at that time.
Yeah.
Right, so the government used to announce the recruitment was through TNPSC, so Public Service Commission. Now it is called Medical Recruitment Board, MRB. So that time it used to be every 2 years or every 3 years. So our exams came immediately after we qualified for the CRRI. But I also took up, wanted to do post-graduation, so took up all the entrance exams. So you'll be surprised, I wrote about 70 entrance exam in those 2 years. Post
70 exams, sir? That
70 entrance exams.
That time it was individual exams for
Yes.
institutes. Okay.
So apart from the All India entrance, PG entrance, there were state entrance. Tamil Nadu used to conduct every year. And then the institutes had their own thing. So AIMS had their individual exams. Now it is UNISAT. So at that time it was P.G.H.M, NIMANS, every central institution used to conduct their exams, CMC, Vellore. So I wrote all the entrance. So that was preparation actually helped me.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
So the way each entrance is conducted, how they coin the MCQs. So that was a good exercise. So now I know PGs get were worried about the entrance exams.
Yes, sir.
And everybody want to get through in the first one or two entrance
Yeah.
exams. So it is, I would say that taking the entrance itself is a good experience.
Yeah.
In fact, I took even IAS exam also, apart from UPSC and all the state PSC. So that was actually, looking back, it was a good exposure to the entrance exam system. And towards the, say after some 20 or 25 entrance exam, we know exactly what they are looking and even who coined the MCQ structure. So that actually helps. Maybe one a point I would like to stress to the youngsters is take whatever exam possible,
Yeah, okay.
right? So whether you get through it or get higher marks, that is immaterial. So attempting the exams gives a wonderful overview, and you also tend to prepare it so from different perspective, because central institutes have a different perspective of
Yes,
testing the knowledge. Their thing is not only on the academic but also logical thinking and also reasoning. So it tests not only the clinical or medical science but also the way you approach a case. So all this OSCE came because of that. So it was previously it was only MCQ or objective questions. Then slowly case histories came into the picture, problem solving came into the picture, and then the OSCE pattern and all those things. This actually gives you an overview of how you approach a case that helps in the clinical practice also. So particularly when you come to private practice where you are all alone, so the decision making is all yours.
Yes, sir.
So all this problem solving questions will really help over a period of time in the private practice also. Then after the entrance series of entrance exam, in the first attempt I got diploma in ophthalmology
Okay.
at Madras Medical College. So I was in a dilemma whether to take it up or not, because my core interest was in surgery,
Okay.
general surgery.
It was allotted, sir, or you should have, you could select or?
You can opt for. So you can opt for 3 courses.
Okay.
So at that time, there is no straight MS for specialties.
Okay.
So either we can take postgraduate in surgery and then specialize, go for MCH or so, or if it is a subspecialties like orthopedics, ophthal or ENT, you have to take up diploma and then go for the post-graduation course. The system was a bit different. Now they have abolished that, diploma and post-diploma. So I was keen to get into general surgery, but in the All India I got MS in Orissa. So my parents were reluctant to send to Orissa. So one, language barrier. The second, only son have to be here, so to take care of the family and other things. So I had to, more for personal reason, I took up ophthalmology.
Yes. Okay.
And so 2 years diploma in ophthalmology at Regional Institute of Ophthalmology. So again, the big background of Madras Medical College and a good academic setting. So that 2 years was really useful exposure to the basics of ophthalmology and the surgical aspect also. So at that time there were a lot of camps, eye surgical camps. So as a postgraduate, that exposure was really, in terms of numbers, not the quality of surgery, the quantification. So every camp they used to do about 1,000 to 1,500 cases. So this was huge. If you compare the numbers now, so in any surgical camp they hardly get about 50 or 100 cases. So at that time it was 1,000 to 1,500. So it used to be a mega camp. So we used to work in the camp setting for 7 to 10 days, stay there in the village atmosphere. So that was a different kind of exposure. So that also gave a background of how the community works, right? How the government works, how the local administration works, and how they bring the patients, how they manage this.
The village people's.
Yes, so you get to interact with them. For a town boy or city educated person, that was a different experience.
Yes, sir.
So that actually helped me during the after joining the service. So after diploma in ophthalmology, and I joined service. So Tamil Nadu. So during the post graduation itself, I got a TNPSC seat. TNPSC got through the TNPSC and was allotted post in primary health center. So after diploma, I joined PHC. So there it was general. It was not ophthalmic specific. But at that time, government announced camps in various areas. So because of my surgical background, they posted me in a PHC, but I got deputation into the mobile ophthalmic unit. So people who are not aware of mobile ophthalmic unit, that time because of the huge burden on cataract, so government had mobile ophthalmic unit for every district.
Okay.
So there used to be one surgeon doing only that duty. Their duty is to go and operate in the village setups. So there is no regular hospital setup. We used to go convert the schools, one of the schools into school classroom into operation theaters.
Oh, okay. I thought it's a campsite.
No.
Okay.
The campsite happens.
Yeah.
Camp happens in the school setup. But our duty is to select the classroom, one of the best classroom available, and then change that into a temporary operation theater, shift all the lighting, all this. There is no microscope or anything. So it's all torchlight based surgeries. So it will be only tables. Patients will be put on the tables. There will be one person holding the torch. There will be one person assisting. We used to do surgeries.
In that, setup we have to
The
maintain
most
basic-
primitive setup of operation theaters you have seen. So that actually helped in the career, because if you start with that low resource setting and primitive setup, you can work with any resource. So that was the postgraduate service experience. So then we worked with the primary health centers with all these government schemes and all other things we have to manage. So a rookie young person managing a big primary health center, about 70 to 80 of them all, 3 times of your age in the retirement stage. So that actually gives a good administrative experience also. So it's like learning swimming by straight away jumping to a well.
Yes.
So you are put into that as a young medical person. You are not exposed to all these things. So you are posted there in the village setup. You have to stay there, select, lead a big team of say 70, 80 people. So that actually gave a good perspective. So looking back, that looks good. But at that time, it was so difficult managing these people. And also government resources and fund crunch. So we have to manage our own fund. So in fact, most of our monthly salary used to go in setting up buying the instrument for the camps. So this is how it started, but in the long run it helped. Yes. So joining the service was one experience, even though it was a raw and difficult experience, but in the hindsight it actually helped. And then it was a time for post-graduation too, for MS. So meanwhile I took all the entrance exams again. Then as usual the court delayed the announcement for that year because of various court cases. Every year, it's not only now. Right from 1980s, every medical entrance exam, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, used to be mired in some court cases. So the results will be delayed, the career will be delayed. So many things that happen. And then in between I took a break from service and joined Christian Medical College, Belur for an anterior segment fellowship for a short time. So meanwhile the entrance exam results were announced. Again I got selected for M.B.B.S. Ophthalmology at Madras Medical College. Yes.
Okay.
So I was lucky in that I had both UG and PG education in the same college and hospital. So that in fact helped me because it's a familiar situation, familiar surrounding. We know the system there, we know the patient profile there. So that helped a lot. And then I joined MS in Madras Medical College and continued there for 3 years. So at that time it was 3 years. Post-diploma was also 3 years. So the 3 years went on like not only the academic part. So that time I started interest in publishing because of the good clinical material and also the encouragement of the teachers. So the post-diploma candidates had a huge experience background. Because of the experience, we were able to do some more surgical work compared to the freshers who have direct MS. So in the hindsight, so this experience was valuable. Then we did a lot of cases, surgery-wise, different scenarios, different. So at that time, not much of specialization in ophthalmology. So MS postgraduate will get to do all cases, not only cataract, retina, glaucoma, cornea, squint cases, oculoplasty, all those things. So that actually helped. Unlike the modern day MS where the focus is only on anterior segment and cataract surgery, during our period we used to do all type of surgeries. And again, so we published heavily. So every year we used to publish some 20 to 30 papers, present in the conferences, and participate in the various quiz. I was a keen quizzer. So still that continues.
Every year 30 papers while doing post-graduation?
Post-graduation,
That
30 years.
actually great.
So every state conference we used to have some 15-20 presentations. And same way in national conferences. So that actually helped. So interest in research and publishing. So that is the base we have. And that of course the teachers helped. But the base work we have to do. In government setup, the paucity of funds for research. So that is a huge issue. And also guidance part. Not many would help with the publication or fine-tuning your publications. Only very few will have that interest. So that actually helped with interaction with the outsiders, right? Not only in the ophthalmic field, but also people who are familiar with research publication elsewhere in other specialties and non-medical specialties also. So after 3 years I got through and then joined service again. So service candidate have to go to again to the primary health centers. So that again went in a different way. So here I was posted in the district hospital, even though it was primary health center, deputed to district hospital, ophthalmology department. So where again focus on camps. So we did a lot of cases, and then I got opportunity to go to UK for a particular training. So that was pediatric ophthalmology and lasers. So lasers were a new thing then. So it was in very few centers in the world. So I got an opportunity to go to Manchester. And Manchester Royal Eye Infirmary was one center where they were offering pediatric ophthalm training and also exposure to the lasers in glaucoma. So very few centers, very few people were doing. So that was a good exposure. And after that training period, I came back.
How long was the training, sir?
That was 6 months.
Okay.
So essentially I went for this fellowship exam, and so that again fellowship in ophthalmology was 2-step. One, the basic sciences. So I took the basic sciences here in Chennai, India, and then for the second part I went to UK. So that was fellowship in International Council of Ophthalmology. So I got through that, and then due to I got a job there as an ophthalmologist.
Okay.
But I had to come back here because of family situation. And of course service had to continue. So then I got a posting in Chengalpet Medical College. So that was the time when I developed keen interest in teaching. right? So Chengalpet, even though it is a small college, so our exposure to the students was very closely linked. Since it's a 50, we used to know every student's name. And it was very basic hospital, right? Only some specialities. And at that time, ophthalmology didn't have a chief. So I had the opportunity to head the department also as a youngsters.
Yeah, okay.
So that was a nice experience because not only the medical education part, so teaching the students, I also have to dispose the OPD, even though it was very tough, single-handed, but I managed. So that 2-3 years managing a department in single-handedly helped a lot. We did a lot of surgical cases, and for Chengalpet it was new. So that actually helped because even now I get patients from that area because so this is the good thing about practice. If you do something out of your way, patients as well as the teaching faculty there or the hospital staff remembers you. So even after 20 years, so I came out of Chengalpet in 2004. So even now I get the staff coming there. From there, the patients coming from there, following up. So that actually we have to, so this is basically private practice or any medical practice as such, you are sowing the seeds, right? So you don't expect the seed to grow overnight. So this happens after, say, 10 years, 15 years. So maybe one lesson I learned is do your work properly. Don't see the, look for benefit immediately. So we did a lot for the teaching as well as patient base during that time, and I also developed private practice during that time. So that was the time when had to be working for 18 to 20 hours, right? So working about 7-8 hours in the medical college and then establishing or setting private practice, operating, visiting various clinics. So very tough time and hardly any time for the family. So that formative years that actually helps. So then we the academically few things important recognition came because when I was the in charge head of the department, the almost 100% pass in ophthalmology.
Oh, okay.
For almost 3 years that consecutively. So previous there used to be some failures. So that was quite common. In a small college, there will be 2 or 3 people who can't do well. But luckily or fortunately for me, those 3 years, almost all of them passed, and over 70% of them got distinction also.
70% distinction, sir?
In ophthalmology, first class and distinction. Okay. So that record still holds. Okay, so that was a good recognition as a medical teacher. And some of them those students, some of them went on to select ophthalmology as a career. And so I was happy that many of them mentioned me as the inspiration for selecting ophthalmology.
Yes, sir, that's a good thing to hear. Yeah.
So that was a good thing. So a recognition comes, even though it comes late, say after 10 years or 15 years. So looking back, that is a good feeling. So that's how I got into the teacher's role in ophthalmology.
Yes, so how many years were there in that department? I
was there for 6 years, from 1998 to 2004. Then I came back to my parent college. In 2004, I came back to Regional Institute as a assistant professor, Madras Medical College. So back to the familiar setting, but this time in a different role. So I was assistant professor. Again, postgraduate teaching continued. So from undergraduate teaching to postgraduate teaching. So again, the publishing and the academic work started. Then I was happy to teach the postgraduate guide for many of the thesis works, and we also started few new departments. So I was the one who established the ophthalmic photography department. Then the medical records used to be like document, very primitive documents. So then we streamlined with standard set of documents. Then some electronic records were introduced. So these were some of them. Then upgraded the glaucoma clinic. So things. But simultaneously, my private practice grew. We built a hospital. So this hospital was built during that time, 2006. So that the next 1 or 2 years were quite difficult, traveling and then coming back and looking at the private practice. So no time for the family. My 2 daughters were have to be taken care of. So decided we can't have best of both worlds.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Some point of time we have to focus our energy on one point. So I took a long leave from government service and eventually quit in 2007.
Okay.
So this practice was established, even though I had part-time practice, I became a full-time ophthalmologist from 2007. So it's a long story to cut short.
Yes, sir.
Since then, private practice, full-time private practice, and of course with interest in some other activity. So publishing continues, and I had opportunity to become the editor of Journal of Ophthalmology.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I was the editor. Now I'm
Like,
the.
ask, like, what are the other positions you held during your till now? It will be better.
Okay.
And how you got there, and how the doctors also can, in case if they want to follow you, it will be better for them.
Okay. Maybe I'll start with the association work.
Yes,
So I got interested in association work primarily for because of 2-3 reasons. One, my mentor pushed me into this literally. During my post-graduation MS Ophthalm at a regional institute, we celebrated the 175th anniversary. So it was a huge celebration, year-long celebration. And Dr. Velayadam happened to be the in-charge person, and director Dr. V.M. Loganathan. So they entrusted me with the entire work of coordinating all this 175th anniversary celebrations. So it was a year-long celebration. We had academic activities, social activities, and we had to work with the association people also, and we have to deal with the government people also, since it's a government institution. So it was literally 360 degree, not only with the student community, but also with the administrators and association people. So to coordinate the academic work, we have to talk with so I got exposure to the senior people in the association. And one fine day during the conference, the managing committee of Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association was called for. There were not many youngsters. So I asked them why there are no youngsters, all of them above 45 or 50, only in private practice are senior people. How will you get to know the opinion of the youngsters who are coming to ophthalmology, or ladies? There's no ladies also.
Yeah, okay.
So if you are underrepresenting, so it was a loose comment actually. It's underrepresentation of people in the managing committee. Managing committee used to be the top decision making body. And then as a postgraduate representative, you will be there. Okay. I was bit hesitated because not at all exposed, and all of them above double my age. So I was bit hesitant, but he pushed me into, you can take up and give your input as a representative. So that's how I got into a association as till now the youngest member of managing committee is my name. So it was sudden. But I had to perform some roles, conduct some quiz programs for during the association conferences, and also organize program for the youngsters. And so that was a good exposure. because we got to the administrative aspect of association. Then from then on, I took up various association roles. So in Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association, I took up the roles of from member managing committee as a postgraduate student, then as joint secretary, then treasurer, then secretary of the association. So all 3 years post, and then editor of the TNOA journal. So that was a good experience because we did a lot of work for the journal. And now I'm currently the vice president.
Yes.
And will be taking over as president next year. So that is the journey in Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association as a. And the other association got into Indian Medical Association. So primarily because I was practicing in this area, as you know, IMA Tambaram is a very active and dynamic organization. Then again as member of the managing committee, and then there were 2 conferences, Tamil Nadu state conferences organized by Tambaram, because the president happened to be conducting the conference. So I was the scientific committee chairman for 2 Democons. Then dealing with the general people, not only ophthalmologists. So far I was dealing only with ophthalmologists or exposed to ophthalmologists. Now it was entire specialist as well as family practitioners. So then God did the scientific committee chairman well. Probably I got the opinion like that I did a good job. Then second time also I was interested, and I was the joint secretary for the nursing home board. Took up various roles. Then president, vice president, and then became the president of Tamil Nadu, Tambaram IMA. And during that time, I also got a role of academic committee, chairman of the academic and research committee at IMA Tamil Nadu State Board. And now I am presently the chairman of the insurance committee. And during COVID time, I also had the opportunity to do the NatCon. So national conference for IMA. So I was the scientific committee chairman and various roles at the IMA. Then parallelly other associations, we established a local specialty association in Tambaram. It's called Tambaram Ophthalmic Society. We brought together about 78 ophthalmologists together and set up the Tambaram Ophthalmic Society. So that is the inspiration for now specialty association coming up for this area. So now there is a Tambaram ENT forum, Tambaram or Kanjipuram OG forum. Then anesthetists are now planning, physicians have started planning. So in a way that what to say is kind of pioneering work with the association. The emergencies are limited, so you don't have to, unlike a trauma surgeon or orthopedician, you need where you have to operate at the middle of the night, or neurosurgeon where you have to see critical patients immediately. Now ophthalmology is into super specialization. There is cataract, there is refractive surgery, then there is glaucoma, then cornea, which is becoming a big specialty now. As a core private practice, that alone will not suffice. You need to develop certain avenues for revenues. So you have to establish pharmacy, labs, the opticals, the diagnostic areas, and also managing private operation theatre facilities. It's really, in ophthalmology, is very, very critical.
So even to set up a clinic, the amount you said, 1 crore, is it for a small nursing home or for a small clinic setup?
No.
In this current scenario, can you give your comment about the current job prospectus for the coming ophthalmologist and the future scope